Okay, so listen if you want. Finally, I have some clarity that is worth sharing about the solar plexus. For the longest time, it was just confusing for me. Finally, I can see something happening in regard to the solar plexus that is clear for me, that I can put into some place and understand its behavior. Before all that, I want to give the advice about the solar plexus, about the emotional center that Ra Uru Hu said, which I find that is the best advice somebody can give you about the emotional center. Never mind if it is defined or undefined. And it is no emotional decisions. Not for the undefined solar plexus, and not for the defined solar plexus. Also, the defined solar plexus, they need to wait for a different frequency. This thing that people say, emotional clarity. Or, as I heard once, emotional intelligence. Now, one thing that I really didn't understand was that there are different configurations that one can be defined emotionally, and that each is kind of behaving differently. You have those like me that are totally defined with black gates in the personality, a total black channel. You have those that are totally defined in the red, the subconscious, the body. And you have those that are defined half a black gate and half a red gate. The real mystery for me was those that are half and half, and still they are somewhat of a mystery for me. But something is more clear for me about the different behavior of each of them, and it is important. If we go back to something that I really love, which is this picture about the driver, the vehicle, and the passenger. So in my case, my emotional center that is totally defined in the black is a passenger defined center. I've known some, and I still know some, people that are defined totally in the red, vehicle defined emotional center. And I can clearly see a difference in behavior. I always liked to say that my passenger is emotional. And if I look at the red defined people in the emotional center, yes, they can act, talk, take decisions before they finished their progress. But the feeling I get from them, and I had the opportunity to cut off a red defined emotional center mid his process, and it feels like you take off a vegetable from the ground that has a root and it's not ripe yet. It just feels off for me. And they also feel off about the situation when they are moving, taking an action before they finished the process. If I take this to the picture of the vehicle, the passenger and the driver, just let the car drive down the road. Let it see the view. Let it go through the different sceneries till it's ready, till it's mature enough. The emotional center, it's everything about the experience. So really for me, the body, the physical body, the vehicle needs the time to go through enough experience, enough different angles in order to come to this vehicle body intelligence, maturity about this decision. And if I look about my case, totally black defined, the personality side, which is the conscious part, the passenger part, there is only one thing the passenger needs to do in regard to the human design, yes? And it is to be the watcher. And lately I have found more and more that I'm able to watch how my emotions are triggered. There are people that are pushing my buttons more easily than others. Some friends, family members. And always when I was impulsive with my, I want to say reaction, not response, reaction, like something in me is triggered and I react emotionally towards that person, that saying, a theme, whatever it is. And I can clearly see that in my case it's really this passenger that is not anymore watching, observing the ride. Now something pushed him and he acts from what he has. And in my case, he has a defined emotional center. So this is what will be pushed. This is what will be expressed, because this is the energy that is in him. If that was clear. Many times, one of my sisters, she pushes my button, or my buttons are easily pushed by her. Many things that she says, my buttons are pushed and I want to react emotionally. And never when I did this, the result was tasty for me or comfortable for the other. It also happened to me a lot in the Facebook groups. And if we talk about human design now, so let's say in the human design Facebook groups, that people are responding to me or talking about things, and easily I can be triggered emotionally and want to react and type back an emotional response. And again, the best suggestion for the emotionally defined people, no emotional decisions whatsoever. The people that are red defined, they can also respond in the moment in a not accurate way, but I found it's not an emotional passenger. There are other things that other configurations or centers that are playing the role of the passenger. I don't have enough examples to really have a clear understanding, but this is, for now, my understanding and assumption about it. And about the people that are half black and half red, I really didn't see enough to be and I'll say my hint or my guess about it. It seems to be that people that have not just the emotional center, every center that is defined like that, that they are not really totally conscious about what's going on with this frequency. And in another way, they also are kind of their passenger is influenced and can be triggered and pushed by this theme of this center. So it it has kind of somewhat of both energies, and the real problem is the passenger, that you can be pushed by in this frequency of the emotions. We talk about the emotional center, and react emotionally. Yes, and I think this is everything. I try to think if there's anything else, but I can say one thing, that when I look or try to understand this half and half, half red channel, half black channel, it's a little bit for me like looking at a reflector. I don't really get what's going on, maybe in the future. And also something I learned, that as much as I'm pushing to find an answer for something, or if I'm constantly asking people I think they can give me an answer about it, never mind their answer or what came up, it was not satisfying for me. And somehow the answers, they came without me really noticing that finally I have some answers about something, like mushrooms after the rain. Okay, I think this is it.